calls themselves a knowledge worker needs to take a little time and make a little sausage. So if you follow me on Twitter, you probably know I've got this thing for cured meat. I really like to make cured meat. I also like to make homemade pasta, handcrafted cheese, personally pickled items. But this is what my daily life is like, staring down a Wookiee from my desk and writing and responding to emails, drafting notes, sitting in conference calls, counseling my colleagues, counseling my clients, redoing to-do lists, when the reality is the best part of my day is when I get to go home and take a hunk of meat and cut and chop and hack and dice and slice and mince and mash and transform that raw product into something else. Because check out my sausage. My sweet, sweet Italian sausage is awesome. And it's damn delicious. And so is my mozzarella, and so is my gnocchi. And I made that with my own hands, and it's fantastic. And so I was trying to figure out what exactly is it that causes that feeling. And it turns out it's a little bit of neurological and a little bit of evolution. From a neurological standpoint, when we do things with our hands that result in tangible outcomes, it sends dopamine, serotonin to our brains. And it came from the caveman times, actually, these survival-based outcomes. Physical effort to do something tangible and meaningful. Home, shelter, food. This deep sense of satisfaction and pleasure. It's part of our DNA. It's now called, of course, the IKEA effect. Because labor enhances our affection for what we create. We have this confidence and pride, even when it's completely unfounded, when you have that tipped-over, tilted desk, but dang it, you put it together. So Matthew Crawford talked about this in shop class as soulcraft. A little bit controversial, but what he said is that we have this misguided separation right now between thinking and doing. The work of the hand and the work of the mind. We've got this division somehow. And while I am proud to call myself a knowledge worker and do a lot of strategy, I'm also trying to focus more on my soulcraft. And for me, it's feeding my soul, nutrition, and developing things. This is beautiful food from Bluebird, but creating meat and cheese. So what's your soul craft? What exactly is it that you do with your hands that helps you to slow down in this hyper-speed world that we live in and really hang on to something and do something physical with it? Because when you slow down and hold on, you can do some amazing things. This is my fantastic niece Ella, who is in the crowd. She is a maker and a creator, and she creates with abandon. As kids, we knew how to do that. We knew how to create. We knew how to make clothing and make art and really not hold ourselves back. Because from the right brain terrain, we always, you don't have to be Picasso or Mozart. You just have to be. Just create, to remind yourself that you're still alive, and to inspire others, and to perhaps even learn a bit more about yourself. Create to get into the flow. This really smart guy with the really long last name talked about getting in the flow. Points to anybody who can say it. It's that energized focus. When you're focused on a specific task with your hands, your mind goes to another plane. It actually helps you to unclamp from the day-to-day minutia that's in our brain. When you're focused on a specific tangible task, you can unclamp and you can get to this place where you have serendipitous discoveries in your subconscious. So I have a makeshift manifesto. I'm going to honor physical labor as well as office effort and invest in my tools as much as my technology and revel in the messy process of discovery and making shit. I have my makeshift bucket list. I want to get my hands on a 3D printer and do something with it. I want to sew something I wouldn't be embarrassed to wear, and I want to learn to weld. And also, to bring it back, of course, to me, because it wouldn't be about me if it wasn't about me. I want to learn to butcher an entire animal, so props to Agri-Beef. Somebody bring me out and teach me how to butcher, because I'd like to do that. I want to get to that plane through butchery to have serendipitous discoveries for my knowledge worker world. Now, if you want to make and create, there are some awesome community resources for you. Open Lab Idaho is a maker and hacker space that started up next to your museum. There's some great people in this crowd that are part of Maker Fair, which is coming here in May to Boise. We're getting our own. And Make IT Idaho in Idaho's libraries for maker spaces. So I will leave you with this. Don't just consume, don't just converse, create. Igniteboise.